Dominique Dawes has been in top form today, forgetting last week's problem on beam. Dominique Moceanu is continuing her success at this meet, while Shannon Miller's consistency has kept the heat on Amy Chow. The leader faltered on beam and has left the door open. Meantime, Blaine Wilson continues to dominate the men's field. Welcome back to the CBS Sports Spectacular. We are in Toledo, Ohio, on the shores of the Maumee River. Here at the Toledo Sports Arena, it's the ERA World Professional Gymnastics Championships. Hi again, everyone. I'm Andrea Joyce, along with Peter Vidmar and Julianne McNamara. Julianne, in day one of this competition, Amy Chow looked absolutely unbeatable, but all of a sudden, this is a tight competition.
Well, she's had a slight falter on the balance beam, which has cracked the door. The top 5 gymnasts are within 0.4 of a point. And coming up the floor exercise, we'll see music with vocals, which also brings out the performance quality in the routines.
On the other hand, on the men's side, unless they tie Blaine Wilson up in the locker room, it doesn't look like anybody else has a shot.
I think only a complete catastrophe on Blaine's part could prevent him from winning this, leading by over a point right now with only one event to go. But the nice thing about it is if I was one of the other gymnasts, I'd say, hey, I've got nothing to lose. Let's go all out on high bar. That's usually what happens on this event anyways. High bar is always very exciting to finish with.
So with one rotation remaining, as we mentioned, Blaine Wilson with a very comfortable lead over Yevgeny Shabayev and Chris Waller. Here's John McCready. We mentioned his shoulder surgery in December. What does he need to do now to make it to Sydney?
Well, he can't rush a shoulder injury. That's the problem. He has to make sure that his rehabilitation is done really methodically and carefully, because once he re-injures a shoulder, it can be a long time coming to get better again. High bar shouldn't take too much out of his shoulders except for the dorsal grip requirement. Here's his Kovacs over the bar, catches it, no problem. Good job. Little Stalder, blind change, fairly basic skills here. Here's another Stalder. And he's left out. It looks like he's left out that inverted giant that we might see because probably of the stress it would take on his shoulder. Nice double layout dismount, but misses one of the requirements there, and he probably did that just to keep his shoulder healthy.
Egging the crowd on, looking for a better reaction.
Well, the judges aren't going to miss the missing of the dorsal grip requirement, so we'll see what he gets for a score. Now John does his Kovacs over the bar. Gets a lot of wind up. Look at the bar bend as it snaps him up and over. Nice form in it, too. His dismount was just a double layout. Gets nice extension on it. He'll be able to twist that quite easily.
The 1996 Olympian scores a 9.3 on the high bar, and look at the look of shock on his face.
He knows what he left out, though.
He wants this place to riot. Up next on the high bar, the oldest competitor in this event, 29-year-old Chris Waller.
Chris has always had a nice clean look on high bar. Does some interesting release moves, back-to-back skills. Let's see if he does his reverse heck into a Ganger. Tkachev Ganger. There's a nice one-arm giant sequence. Stalder pirouette. Here he goes. Gets his tap. There's Tkachev. And there's, well, nope, he left it out. Did not go for it. Try it again. There's a Tkachev. And there's the Ganger. Now, he really doesn't lose anything just because he decided to do an extra skill. He was smart enough to get his composure back and try to get some bonus points by doing those back-to-back releases. Just has an extra one in there. Not so bad. Smart competitor. Setting up for his dismount. Double tissue, double backflip. Not bad. Oh, big stumble on the end, though. Too bad.
Chris Waller, a member of the 1992 American Olympic team.
There's his Tkachev. Right into a ganger as a flyaway half turn. Difficult sequence to do. And his dismount is a double twisting, double back flip, but he gets too much rotation. His hips are way back when he lands. He almost landed down on his back.
And the judges award Chris Waller with a 9.7. And still to come, Blaine Wilson wraps up his day of competition on his way to the title. Here's Yevgeny Shabayev. We talked earlier about all the injuries he's had over the years that have slowed him down. It was this event, the high bar, that caused one of his most serious injuries. He smacked his left hand on the high bar last year and broke his thumb.
And I'll tell you, you need your thumb in gymnastics. Holding on to the parallel bars, the high bar, the rings, everything. There's his pirouette over the top, right into a Kovacs. Very difficult to do. Does not use a wind-up swing like so many of the gymnasts. It's too bad he just couldn't pull it off. Took those counter swings. He'll take a major deduction on that. There's a very high Kovacs from a wound-up giant. Was able to make use of that momentum there. There's his stoop to the dorsal grip, getting ready for his dismount. Double layout, double twist. Oh, stumbles forward. Too bad. That had potential to be a very, very good routine.
Doesn't do anything for that little dance after.
No. That's too bad. Now here's the Kovacs. It's a double back flip over the bar to a recatch, named after the Hungarian gymnast that did it first. Reaches around to catch it. No problem. Dismount's very difficult. It's a laid out double twisting, double layout, stumbles forward on his knees and does a little dance at the end. Too bad.
And for Shabayev, it's a 9.4. Getting set for the high bar now, Blaine Wilson, the leader, with a very comfortable lead. Blaine needs just an 8.4 to win. What do you think, Peter?
I somehow think he can do it. Let's find out. In-bar Stalder to a one-arm sequence right away.
High bar has never been his strongest event, but he has been working on it. It's not quite where he wants it to be.
That was a very difficult Stalder sequence, though, with the dorsal grip. Trying to plan on the future with extra bonus points, some of the skills he's working on. There's his Tkachev, good giant. Stalder sequences. Getting ready for his dismount. But it would be nice to see him do more release moves. But an easy double layout with a full twist dismount. He knows what it takes to win. All he had to do was just get off the high bar. And Andrea, I'd like to see more release moves down the road for Blaine. I think it would balance out his routine better. There's his only release. It's a Tkachev, reverse sec into a giant swing. His dismount was a double layout with a full twist, easily sees the ground. Takes a little hop on the end, but it really wasn't too hard for him.
Done. I'm done.
Well, it may not have had all the difficulty that you wanted, Peter, but the judges give Blaine Wilson a 10.
Well, these are the NCAA rules that are easier to score, not quite as difficult as the rules Blaine will be facing in international competition. And the judges gave him the benefit of the doubt on the landing, I guess, in the dismount, and gave him the 10.
And with that first 10 of the competition for the men, it's fitting Blaine Wilson has won this event.